anything that they're saying about the efficiencies that they hope to achieve. We just now heard that they are asking these employees to tell them what they have done. They're not concerned about efficiency. Any person who said, quit your job, let us pay you for 8 months to do nothing, that's not a person who's interested in efficiency. What they're really interested in is making sure that they clear enough dollars to be able to extend the tax cuts for these billionaires. This is the billionaires run amok. You know, Elon Musk is getting what he paid for. He paid $220 million to the Trump campaign. And so I can't believe anything they're saying. All of this, I think, is built on a total lie. He gave one number that said he had achieved deficiencies of about $16 billion and said, oops, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. Maybe it's $9 billion. The public cannot trust anything coming out of DOGE, and I most especially do not trust Elon Musk.
Your governor, Wes Moore, just announced new resources for federal workers who have been fired because of these cuts. He's including telling them to come work for the state of Maryland. Are you part of this effort to find other ways to keep these residents employed and keep them from having to leave Maryland to find a new job?
Well, we're part of one big team. I'll, of course, be working with Governor Moore and others to make sure we're doing everything we can to provide for Marylanders. In the meanwhile, we are also making sure that we are supporting the lawsuits. I think this is going to be one of the best opportunities we have to fight against what have been many, many illegal firings, probationary employees, those who have shown up, who have been there for decades in many cases, also working to make sure legislatively that we are doing everything we can to slow down the processes that we're seeing, to demand answers from this administration. But yes, I'll also be working with Governor Moore, working with Senator Van Hollen and the rest of our delegation to also make sure we're keeping resources at the forefront for many of our employees who are suffering. And let's talk about what we're seeing. It is not only that we're seeing the firings, but we're seeing also that groceries have not gone down. The price of groceries have not gone down. Inflation is rising. We're seeing also the cost of housing is going to continue rising. So all of this, again, is hurting the American people. And I haven't seen any evidence yet of how any of this helps the American people. It is all about this heist that is happening to take over the government and to benefit billionaires.
Even as President Trump and Elon Musk are enacting all of these massive changes, I have to say, the Democratic Party, your party, has a huge problem. The latest Quinnipiac University national poll finds that only 21% of the American people approve of the job that congressional Democrats are doing. Even more striking is that 49% of Democrats disapprove of what Democrats in Congress are doing. How is your party getting this wrong?
Well, let me just say this. I will push back on what you just said for this reason. The fact of the matter is there is broad dissatisfaction and unhappiness and distress, and I understand all of it. And I agree that all of us have more work to do, but be clear. The people who are in control right now are the Republicans. They have control of the Senate, they have control of the House, and they have the White House. And so the people who are really enacting this pain on the American people are not the Democrats. Now, we have a job to do, but I think it is really important that right now the people who should be held to account are also my colleagues in the Republican Party who have been complicit with this. The ones who know better, see better, and I think it's really important for them to continue to speak up. There are so many opportunities for that to happen, but the Democratic Party is not what's causing the pain that we're seeing. It is the leader of the Republican Party who is right now, who is unfit, who is callous, and who has done nothing to support the average American family.
I'm not suggesting Democrats are responsible. I'm just saying you have historically low approval ratings.
Well, you know what? And approval ratings, you know what? Again, all of us should be held to do our jobs. We are doing ours right now. We're making sure that we are opposing these unqualified nominees, secretaries who have been nominated. We are making sure that we are also using every procedural tool available to us. And so, you know, all of us have a role to play. And but in this moment, what we must do is to make sure that we are doing what we can to protect the American people who will be harmed and who will die, many of them, as a result of what we're seeing. We look at the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, where 8,000 people lost their jobs. This is the Weather Service. Hurricanes, wildfires, people will die as a result of the really unethical decisions that have been made to destabilize our country. And this is not a time just to point fingers. We need people of good conscience to speak up right now and say, I do not agree with what Donald Trump is doing to harm our country, to harm our relationships across the world. We are becoming less safe every day as a result of what this administration is doing, and it requires all of us. This is not a time to be pointing Democrat, Republican. All of us of good conscience and who have any integrity at all should be speaking up and saying it's wrong.
Senator Angela Alsobrooks of Maryland, thank you so much. Appreciate your time today over the Justice Department and its attempt to defend the Trump agenda has led to a series of missteps.